Hello, we are Husky Games, an enterprise team at Michigan Tech. Our mission is to design and develop games for business, education, and fun. We work as an interdisciplinary student-run enterprise that fosters productivity, creativity, and effective business practices. Our goal is to create quality software that will attract and satisfy industry sponsors.
Husky Games has members across multiple majors and interests, bringing with them skills and interests in all aspects of the gaming industry. Programming, art, design, sound, and writing are just a few of the many elements of making a game that can be pursued within Husky Games. Students are split into teams of at least 5 members. Each team spends 14 weeks making a game following a full game dev cycle. This process starts with teams brainstorming their ideas and making a complete timeline and design document. Each new project is pitched to HDD management for approval and feedback on feasibility. Teams then begin to work on their game in work cycles called sprints. After every sprint, teams formally report their progress to management and make changes to their original timeline if needed. Depending on project length, teams will also engage in playtesting, where other members of the enterprise play their game and provide feedback on the game's progress and report coding errors. This allows teams to evaluate and make changes to their product based on user feedback similar to industry practices. When a game is complete, teams make a trailer promoting their final product to the public, and their game is published on the Husky Games website and itch.io page.
This year, Husky Games is showcasing Team 1's game, Forgotten Gods. The team behind this project includes myself, Liam Houston, the team lead and artist, our programmers, Conlon Houston, Jeremiah Nijelski, Mark McArdle, and Owen Morrow. Rounding out our team are our 2 sound designers, Rainey Alexiev and Nate Lyons. With that short introduction out of the way, let's move on to introducing Forgotten Gods. Forgotten Gods is a survival horror game where you try to escape an abandoned city using your own health as fuel for your spells. Standing between you and your goal are a series of environmental puzzles and several strange creatures that you will have to either navigate around or eliminate in combat. Healing items are scarce, so effectively solving every encounter without losing too much health is key for your continued survival. Forgotten Gods is still under development. What we have so far is the result of 2 semesters of work. While developing the game, we had to address several problems to get to where we are.
Our first major problem was the challenge of planning a game with realistic deliverables. It is very easy when designing a video game to make a plan that is too ambitious, resulting in a lackluster or incomplete final product. To fix this problem, we defined what our minimum viable product should be at the start, making sure our work for each sprint was only aimed at reaching that goal, cutting out all extra features.
Second problem, getting enemies to behave properly. A major hurdle for us to conquer was creating enemies controlled by their own algorithm. These enemies needed to be challenging to the players, to behave as designed, to navigate levels effectively, and to have minimal performance overhead. The current state of the enemies took many iterations. It was significantly difficult to make sure their navigation would not get stuck on obstacles in the level. Conducting multiple playtests allowed us to get player feedback and improve the danger that enemies pose to the player.
A major focus of ours during development was the game's user interface. When designing our interface, we had 2 main goals in mind: simplicity and polish. The interface needs to be simple and easy to understand, as it's the first part of our game that any user will see. To do this, we split our user interface into a few easily accessible subsections to keep each page visually clear while retaining all of the needed functionality for a video game. The interface also needs to be polished. Our user interface has smooth transitions and visual feedback to ensure the user can see and follow their actions in the interface without issue. Since our game is playable with either a keyboard or a controller, our user interface needs to be equally easy to use with either type of input. We've also ensured that any input bindings are easily modifiable for both means of input, so that the user can make all interactions within our game feel the best and make the most sense to them.
The last major problem we had to address was the visual style of the game. It was important to us to create a game that was visually appealing to players as well as being fun to play. To tackle this, we focused on creating simplistic assets that all fit into the same visual style. To ensure the quality of assets stayed the same throughout development, we made a style guide to document current assets and used them to make rules around how assets should be designed in the future. Creating art for the game is far from complete. Going forward, we will continue to follow our style guide to make sure the game remains visually consistent while also adding atmosphere to the overall experience. The next steps in our timeline are having the game's art catch up to the rest of the completed features, conducting additional playtests to improve combat, building a larger map to explore, and adding the ability to talk to characters in the world. Once all of these steps are completed, we will be publishing a demo on itch.io and Steam. You can find other Husky Games creations on our itch.io page or go to our website, huskygames.com.